So tonight on Never Before Seen, animal mascots are taking over as HUD601 has joined us tonight to show off the new hit game Stray and its glitchless category. And we'll be following up afterwards with Sonic 3D and 2D, a unique Sonic fan game that explores what Sonic 3D Blast level design concepts could have been like if they had been made into a more traditional 2D Sonic game. So I said I didn't say good evening or good morning at the very beginning of the show because while maybe evening for most of us here on the East Coast, it is certainly morning for Huds over here. How are you doing tonight, or this morning, Huds?
Yeah, good morning, good evening, everyone. Hi, Amber. It's very early in the morning. It's just gone 3 a.m. here, but I'm doing okay. I got to bed early, and yeah, I'm feeling good. So
I'm glad you're feeling good.
I noticed it originally said Meowgnificent Games, and all I can think of now is that moment in the first Sonic movie trailer where awful Sonic turns around and says meow. So thanks, Richard. But yeah, we're going to be running Stray. So this is the any % glitchless category on PC. This game came out just over a month ago or so. It's developed by Blue 12 Studio, published by Annapurna Interactive, and it runs in the Unreal Engine as well. The current world record for this game is currently 1 hour, 60 minutes, and 20 seconds. It has already been very highly optimized. And I'm currently sat, as you can see from my splits, actually, around about a 1:18:55. Before we get into the run, I just want to make you aware of a couple of things. Firstly, I am using a macro for this game. There is an official scroll wheel macro for this game that is allowed in speedruns. During this run, there is a lot of dialogue that we have to skip. And to do so, previously, we would actually keybind the dialogue skip and the dialogue end keys to our scroll wheel. However, those with free-scrolling scroll wheels have a significant advantage over regular players, so it was agreed that rather than trying to ban free-scrolling scroll wheels, we would instead develop a macro that could be used for the game instead. Interestingly enough, this is the first time I've used that macro in a run, so what could possibly go wrong? The other thing to be aware of is that we're using hybrid controls here. Not only so I traditionally run this on controller, but I will also be using keyboard and mouse and combinations of all three, and at one point, I think all three at the same time. So it's a bit of an interesting run in that regard. So yeah, again, what could possibly go wrong? Because this is the glitches category, we aren't allowed to perform certain glitches. So just to make you aware of it, that includes not going out of bounds. We're not allowed to click through objects. We're not allowed to skip any cutscenes. We can't interact through solid objects. We can't fall while interacting with objects, and we cannot cause another object to travel faster than it is intended. If we do, for any reason, perform a banned glitch, we can actually just restart from the last checkpoint and continue the run as normal, and the run will remain valid. And the run is actually timed RTA minus loads. So I have the auto splitter up. We have the timer running through the auto splitter. It will remove any load time from the run for us. So I think that covers all the prerequisites. Before we get ahead, though, Mindez, welcome along.
Hello, I'm here too.
So, Mindez, you've been running this game as well, haven't you?
Yes. So I run the same category, glitchless. My time's not quite as optimized as yours, but I've got a 1:24, I think it is. So not too bad. Middle of the leaderboard.
I believe you learned that for a 12-hour challenge very recently, like last month.
Yeah, I did a bit of a longer stream, 12 hour. It wasn't really a formal 12-hour challenge, but a bit of a longer stream on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, this game is, as I say, it's been fairly highly optimized. The routing alone will get you to a fairly low time. Beyond that, and especially to push into the sub 1 hour 20, requires fairly exceptional movement and direction. A single missed jump can cost you easily 6 to 8 seconds. So without further ado, shall we get this run underway?
Absolutely. Count us down, Huds.
Fantastic. We'll start from new game start. We will get the run going in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
And like all good games, we start with a cutscene.
Oh, every good game.
So the cutscenes in this game aren't skippable at all.
Nope.
So we're going to be spoiling a lot of the story today, just as a bit of a warning for everybody out there.
That includes me. I'm in spoiler jail because I did not play this game before the show.
Yeah, so it's probably heads up at this point. if you've not played this game right now and you're going to watch this run, you're going to get spoiled on it. But to be honest, it's still a great game to play afterwards, even if you are. So start
Oh,
this
I
lovely
guarantee you
40
I'll forget the whole story, but like by the time I finally play this months later.
I'm being told there's no game audio, which is useful. So tell you what, we will quickly restart the run. This is what we get for not testing.
As like, it's very quiet at the very beginning, but I was getting game audio via my feed, but not on...
There we go. We should now have game audio. Apologies about that, chat. It's fine. Pretend that didn't happen. We'll cut it out. We'll start again. It's not live. It is live.
All right, let's go for the first time.
3, 2, 1, go.
So, wait, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. None of the cutscenes in this game are skippable.
I'm going to put it down to 3 a.m. vibes, all right? So, yeah, we start off with this this intro, this kind of 42 to 44 second cutscene. Sets the scene. Raining, it's thundering. We have the cats here. So, in terms of the order, we need to go and interact with all 3 cats to get them to go to sleep. It's actually probably a good thing we restarted because for some reason it picked up the wrong cat for me to begin with. We want to go right, front, left. Doing it in that specific order will save us a second. Any other order, we lose that second.
Yeah, and they really knew what to open this game with. Like, the interactions between the cats and the animations are so cute, and we just, like, literally open with, like, 40 seconds of just the cats playing. It's great.
Oh, I love this.
It's also worth mentioning at this exact point, I have a meow button. I can meow whenever I want.
I remember seeing clips of your very first playthrough of the game on your stream, and just your reactions to many of the animations in this game, since they're all based on, you know, actual cats. Like, the main cat character is, like, based on a real-life cat. That it just... And also, as someone who has owned cats myself and yourself, we've both had cats in our lives, it gets it pretty spot on, I think.
It really does. It really does. And you'll see it as we get further into the game, like some of the way that the cat reacts. Yeah, I won't spoil that bit. It's fun to see on its own. So we've interacted with all 3 cats. We've put them to sleep. And we're going to wake up here in the morning. This is one of our first cutscenes after the end of the prologue. This one lasts about a minute and a half or so.
Yeah, and I think you already mentioned about the macro that we can use to kind of skip dialogue quicker by binding skip text to the mouse wheel. That button is the same as the meow button. So honestly, this speedrun is mostly spent spamming the mouse wheel and just meowing constantly.
Yeah, you're going to hear a lot of meowing during this chat.
I mean, pup time is going to be very, very much working overtime because of the cat emotes.
Yeah.
Very much so. Yeah, if you have any cat emotes, by the way, please feel free to post them. We love cat emotes.
Oh, yeah, we need cat emotes. You can also spam meow in cutscenes as well, or at least in any cutscene that is in engine, which most of them are.
So there's only 4 cutscenes that aren't in engine. That initial bit where the cat woke up was actually a video playback. Right now, we're back in engine, so you can hear me meowing. There you go. So it's at this point I'm going to go to controller-mouse hybrid. I'm going to use the controller in order to control the cat and run forwards. I'm going to use the mouse to actually point myself because it's far more accurate than trying to use the joystick.
Yep. And we're going to see some of the initial level design of this game. Most of the chapters in this game are fairly linear, especially the first one where it's a bit of a tutorial stage. We're going to learn about the meow button. We're going to learn how to run and jump our way through these levels. So it really is just about optimizing the movements, optimizing where you're jumping from and to. So as you kind of get near a ledge, you'll see an icon appear, and I'm pressing, I believe it's A on the controller. I don't use a controller. It shows you exactly where you're going to jump to, and the movement in this game honestly is really fluid. It just feels really good. You can get a little short jump down there to skip walking along the rest of the pipe. Another one there that unfortunately didn't get. But that's fine. These are all like things that save literally like single digits, like seconds. It's like
it's
the
fractions of a
optimization
second.
in this game is so ludicrous.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to keep on running our way through the nice, lovely terrain here.
This luscious terrain. Nature's kind of reclaimed these old sewers.
Yep.
Hold right trigger to observe. I like that.
So a couple of early jumps off the girders there. As soon as we jump off the second one, it triggers this this next cutscene where we can see the cats are trying to make this jump across some broken sewer pipes.
No.
Oh,
No, baby!
No cat!
No.
Who's gonna say it?
Long live the king! I had to. I had to.
Oh, such a Lion King moment. It breaks my heart every time. Poor little kitty.
Oh, it's this part. Oh man, it's so sad.
It really is. It's 3 a.m. My emotions are not in check. It's okay. He survived. He has survived.
Yep. Got a little bit of a hurt leg.
We're gonna hobble along here.
Little cat hobble.
Oh, he's shaky.
Little cat stumble.
Oh no.
Oh. He's asleep.
I remember the first time playing this and seeing this particular section, and it broke me. It really broke me.
Oh, it really does.
Okay, so we've got this cutscene here after the cat has kind of fallen, and for some reason this door that's been sealed for eons suddenly opens. As we progress through the game, we'll find out more as to what's going on and why.
Yeah, we also get a little glimpse of some little creatures there that run away. Nothing,
A lot of mystery.
There's a mystery afoot. Anyway, quick little lick of the wounded leg.
Magic heal.
Magic heal. Can heal anything.
Yeah, just a little lick, it'll be fine.
Okay, so we're going to head towards this open door now through all the rubbish, all the trash, and welcome everyone to the Dead City.
Yep, so the Dead City is another fairly linear stage. A little bit more exploration to it than the previous tutorial stage. But we are just going to be running our way through. We can see these little like creatures running around, but we can't reach any of them as they run away. And we're going to get our first proper like environmental look at what is going on inside this city. So one of the things the cat can do is also interact with objects. So we can see picking up a bucket there that we're going to use to block the fan. So there is some level of like puzzle solving with this as well. Similar here, knocking the paint can off to.
I never get that on 2.
Yeah, that is possible with 2 like pushes, but it seems really weird as to when it detects it. That time took 4 pushes, which I've never seen before.
Yeah, for some reason, whenever I get it on a 3, the third one always seems to miss. I don't know why.
Yeah.
As we continue through, we can see here they look like they're almost feasting on this this robot.
I like how you're just gonna walk by the dying robot. It's like, yeah, I scared them off. You're on your own.
Yeah.
I feel for him, but it costs time.
See, when I did my first casual playthrough, I just walked past and then, like, as a joke, and like I've tried to get back, and it's like, oh no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to just let you die. But yeah.
Okay, so we've jumped down to this alley, and suddenly these creatures have all awoken and start chasing us. So this is where I'm going to start making good use of our macro. So thankfully, I used to have to use the scroll wheel for this, but now I can just kind of hold onto the button because it's these creatures, when they jump onto us, we have to shake them off. It just so happens our meow button and the shake button are one and the same. So we're going to meow our way towards the end here as we run through this gauntlet. But thankfully, the macro will shake them off immediately and prevent us from losing any real time on this section. Previously, we just used the scroll wheel and just constantly scroll upwards.
Yeah, with that macro, just like, so usually your speed like drops when they like jump onto the cat, but with the macro, it's just like there is just no stopping.
Yeah,
really helps to optimize that section. So these are Zerks, which are little like flesh-eating like parasite type things.
Totally not head crabs.
Legally distinct head crabs.
Very legally distinct.
Very legally distinct. And now we are back in relative safety.
So you'll notice from like the level design, you'll notice all these different neon signs, and they've all kind of slightly resemble different arrows and directional things. So, you know, the developers have really put in a lot of effort to not take you out of the immersion of the game while still trying to direct you in terms of where you're supposed to go. So, you know, keep a close eye out, especially during this section here in Dead City, as to where we're going. We're going to move this barrel. We can interact with certain objects, and that allows us to jump up here. I'm going to head this way.
Yep, there's a lot of really cool just environmental puzzle solving.
No!
It's okay, we safe.
I didn't want him to take another big tumble.
Aww. That would be sad.
You can see there another neon sign trying to direct us that way. Now, these aren't being turned on randomly. We'll soon find out the reason why these signs are turning on in the order that they are. And these lights are flashing the way they are. Well, we find out in the game. We'll have to tell you because we're going to skip all the dialogue that reveals it for us.
Yep.
The movement just looks really fluid. Like you had said earlier, Mindez, like that the movement in this game feels really good. It looks like it feels really good.
Yeah, it's great to just play, and as a speed game, it just flows really well. Like, even with the unskippable cutscenes, it's just, like, it's really, like I say, just fluid. So here we have cat on a keyboard.
As you do.
So we're going to message the person or thing that's been kind of guiding us here. So in this room is one of the most hard to optimize in the game. So this room has 4 batteries that we need to collect and put into these receptacles over here. It is so easy to just drop it next to a receptacle like that, because you can only put it in the receptacle when the actual like indication exists or like is visible.
Yeah, just having it nearby isn't good enough. It has to actually have the action up.
Yeah. And that's going to power up this workstation and open up a hidden room, which is going to let us get this this robot drone thing here. We can put into the machine and download or upload onto it the consciousness of this entity that's been guiding us here.
Yeah. So this is B12. He is our drone companion. And a little kind of fun tidbit, the game developer I said at the beginning was Blue 12 Studios, B12. The little title card you saw at the beginning actually in the in-game language lists the level as Blue 12 flat.
So this thing looks like not those viewfinders, I don't know what they're called, but you'd put the little disc in and like if you look at the light and you like press the lever, it would show you different scenes, usually from cartoons or movies or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it reminds me
it's got
of
a very
those
retro toy
things.
vibe.
Yeah.
So B12 is going to let us pick up items. So you can see there we got a key, And Huds, I'm going to let you describe this bit because I know this is.
He fall over.
He fall over. Have you ever tried? So if anybody out there has ever tried to put a harness on a cat, they will immediately recognize this.
Yes, please, thank you.
Just that staying low to the ground. Just nope.
So
and
true.
just playing dead, yeah, like the dead weight like reaction of the cat.
the over dramatic like no, I can't.
And then our first bucket, and we spin.
Oh, spin! If anyone follows the Games on Quick Twitter or takes a look at it, you may recognize this here. Because a GIF of this was chosen today.
Yeah, the cat having proper I hate it, get off kind of vibes. So we come along this mural and we notice at this postcard, we're going to take this one, and B12 tells us that it looks like something that he remembers called the outside.
Outside? What is that?
Don't know, some kind of reality. Never heard of it myself, but you know.
Yeah, I think it's a thing they invented for this game.
So one of the strats that you'll see me do quite often is that for the most part, I try to keep B12 out. So you'll see me putting B12's torch on. That's because every time dialogue comes up, having B12 out of the backpack already can save around about half a second each time. Like, it's minimal time saves, but the amount of dialogue we have in the game, it really does add up.
Absolutely.
So, welcome everyone to the slums. Currently locked into a particular walking pace right now. You can see all the different robots are running away. B12 tells us these robots are called companions, and they're all that's left now.
Yep, and those robots think that are seeing a small creature, thinking it's a Zerk, running away.
Quick run!
And shutting themselves indoors.
Oh.
And I think this is one of my favorite lines of the game. It's like, as Guardian kind of inspects us and realizes we're not a Zerk, he goes, you can stay as long as you promise not to eat us.
It's a great line.
And yeah, they've got their own language. B12 can translate it, so that's convenient.
Very useful.
And the slums here, now that Guardian's going to open it up, the slums is one of the areas, like the kind of open world areas of the game. So this entire chapter is very, very, very exploration heavy. There's quite a few side quests dotted around within the slums. So it's really an opportunity to kind of have a proper like explore of this world and just meet a lot of the companions and just talk to them, and you get so much ambient storytelling just from this chapter alone. Of course, for the speedrun, we're just going to go straight to the objectives that we need to go for. In this case, we need to go to 4 apartments, and in each of those apartments there is a notebook. So we'll get the first apartment over here. And these are the apartments of the outsiders. Oh, sorry, yeah, the outsiders. They are they're a group of companions that wanted to, that dreamt big and wanted to go to the outside world, as they're all trapped inside this city with a massive dome over it.
So we've gone to the first apartment. We've grabbed Clementine's notebook. Oops. That. I'm going to come along to the right. This is Doc's apartment. We're going to knock these books down by jumping on them.
Yeah, there's a significant amount of just knocking things over or knocking things off shelves in this game, because, you know, you play as a cat.
It's very important. It's a very important part of the cat schedule.
It is a very important part of the cat schedule.
Huts knows all about that.
Oh, yes.
So all these nice, neat piles of books. I mean, you just took one out you didn't need to take out there. That was just malicious.
Look, I'm playing. Doing cat things.
That's fine.
And then we're gonna
important catting to be done.
So we're gonna head along here. I'm gonna pull this battery out. This battery will let us jump through this fan. and this is Baltazar's apartment. We're going to jump up on these boxes, jump off, and then hopefully RNG is kind. There's the notebook.
Yeah. So on that pile of books, or on that pile of boxes, there was the notebook. Now, when you jump off that pile of boxes, it does fall down, and where it falls down is kind of random. There's a lot of things in this game that are kind of random, just due to the physics engine. So it is very difficult to optimize.
And here's Momo.
And here's Momo, the final outsider.
Oh,
He's sad.
sad rainbow fat. Sad rainbow face. I don't know why I was about to say sad rainbow fence.
Momo's rainbow face is fabulous. So we give the notebooks to Momo.
There we go. So normally what happens is the Guardian tells us that he's seen the picture before or similar in Momo's flat and tells us to go speak to Momo. We go to Momo, who hands us his notebook. We go to Momo, who hands us his notebook, and then tells us to go and see if we can find the other notebooks from the other flats, from his fellow outsiders, from Clementine, Balthazar, and Doc. We then bring them back, and in one of the notebooks, in Doc's one, it has a way to actually repair the transceiver that he was trying to use. And with that, he repairs the transceiver and is now telling us to go and put it high up on one of the towers in the city, which is where we're going now. This is rooftops. Oops. Come here. There we go.
Yeah. And rooftops, we're kind of going back to the kind of linear style of level design. So it's really a puzzle about where you're going. But this one is going to have a lot of Zerks in it, a lot of encounters with the Zerks. And we also get some momentum-based puzzles. You saw that bar there that's when the cat jumped on it, it kind of swung out. We're going to see that mechanic used quite a bit in here. There's another one. And we're also going to see like just what the Zerks have done to the environment. You get this like weird organic kind of growth type thing, just over all the scenery. So here we're supposed to trap those Zerks off to the side using like a cage, but instead we just like squish them all with the barrel because that's much faster.
Yep.
I mean, that's how I deal with icky flesh-eating bugs.
Get your nearest barrel, roll in it.
Become burrito. Or sorry, burrito.
Burrito. So you just saw there a sign for Neko Corp. Why are you jumping there? Please jump up there. Thank you. So you just saw a big sign here for Neko Corp. Mindez, do you want to explain Neko Corp and maybe the origins of the Zerks?
Do I know that? Is the question.
That's right. Okay,
I know that Neko is Japanese for cat, and that's why it's called Neko Corp. That's about my knowledge on it.
That's okay. So, essentially, this world is split into 2 levels. You have the lower area, the slums, and the upper area, which we find out later is Midtown. And like any class-based system, the rubbish tends to filter downwards. I'll just quickly open this door up. Sorry. Trying to avoid getting eaten alive here. So like any class-based system, the rubbish tends to filter downwards, and the rubbish became such a problem in the slums that Neko Corp developed a mutant bacteria to eat all the rubbish. But long after the humans gone, that bacteria kind of evolved, I suppose, into the Zerks. And they started eating everything, which is why they're so dangerous. So that's where kind of the Zerks come from. And yeah, it's effectively Neko Corp's fault.
Sounds like Umbrella Corp to me.
Sounds like every evil corporation, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yeah, pretty much. So we need to wait for this lift here. So we've got a bit of a survival section. It's a very easy to achieve survival section because you can just sit here and the cat just wiggles.
Oh my god.
We wiggling.
We're wiggling.
Oh boy, we wiggling.
That looks ridiculous.
Yep.
So again, that macro making it rather trivial to avoid taking any real damage from the Zerks there. So we're going to take this elevator up to the top of the tower, and you can see up there the communications tower above us, which is where we want to put our transceiver. And this will allow us to contact the outsiders. Okay, and then we have this cutscene here.
Yeah, I think we get our first kind of view of the scale of this city.
Mm-hmm.
And how huge it is.
The sound design of this game is actually really good, from what I've been able to see so far.
It's really good. Like the music is very complementary to the gameplay. It's not too intrusive. The actual sound design of the city as a whole is really well thought out and done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everything go on.
As we're kind of going through this, B12's also getting his memories back. So when we first found him, he'd kind of lost all his memories, and there's some memories that are just on the path that we're going to find, and there's some memories that are kind of optional collectibles, which we're not going to go for. But yeah, we're B12 is kind of remembering about this world, so you kind of get that storytelling from him as well. And that brings us back to the slums. So this is still the same open world area, but this time we're going to go for different objectives. So we're going to go down and we're going to talk to Momo at the bar. I'm going to see if we can receive any signals.
Oh,
We get headbats!
We get headbats!
We get
very
headbats!
important.
So using the transceiver, we are able to contact Baltazar.
I appreciate the fact that you just spend the entire cutscene spamming the meow button.
Pretty much. So during this cutscene, we learned that Baltazar and the others made it out alive. They are safe, and they actually found a way out of the city, out of the slums. And he tells us that we have to go through the sewers in order to reach them. I'm just going to focus a second, just need to time this correctly, try and make a cycle.
Yeah. So you need to, if you can get up here quick enough, then you can get a cycle on these paint throwers.
Oh, just caught it.
Just in time. Fantastic.
Cool.
You can get there with half a second to spare if you do that optimally, so that's good.
Yeah, so that saves around about 8 to 10 seconds on actually making that cycle, but it's very, very tight to do. So while we're in the bar, one of the characters over by the bar, Seamus, talks to us and tells us, whoops, down please, thank you. Tells us that the sewers are infested with Zerks and that there's no possible way we could ever make it. And the bartender, Jacob, tells us that Seamus's father is actually Doc, who's one of the outsiders, and that he actually developed a weapon for defeating the Zerks, but never came back after going off to test it. So Momo suggests that we go to Seamus's apartment, which is where we are now, to look for clues. So one of the other things we did there was we actually picked up a bottle of Super Spirit detergent. This is going to help us later on.
Yep, so Seamus not answering the door, but we can go in through the nice little secret passage there. And in exploring the apartment...
Oh,
Oh
typical.
no. Yeah.
Typical out of bounds.
Okay,
That's fine.
so let me explain that. So when you knock the painting off the wall, the cat jumps backwards. How far the cat jumps backwards is determined by your frame rate. So if you have a really high frame rate, you jump back through the wall.
Yeah, I'm gonna quickly cap my frame rate.
Yeah.
So,
graphics card is too good. You will always 100% consistently glitch here.
Nice glitchless run.
it's okay because we restarted last checkpoint. It's still valid and still counts. It's just one of those really unfortunate moments. It's the only point in the game that it does that as well.
Yeah.
So let's quickly go back to my caps, just a bit smoother.
I do appreciate the fact that the community allows you to restart from last checkpoint. Yes, you take a time loss, but like you're at least able to keep your run valid.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really good. So yeah, in searching Seamus's apartment, we find a secret lab where Doc was working on this weapon, and we find a broken tracker that we need to get fixed. And to do that, we're going to do some of those side quests around the slums that we were talking about last time. So in particular, we're going to go and get a cable from the robot over here that's like selling wares. And we need to get that knitted into like is it a poncho?
It's a poncho, yes.
Yeah, it's a poncho. Because one of the robots is cold. Yeah, it's a whole like basically trade quest at this point. And
I
then
didn't know this
robot
was a Zelda game.
pretty much. And then that robot will fix the tracker for us.
So before the run, Huds gave Mindez and I a commentary guide, and I'm kind of vaguely following along. And the poncho apparently is made out of electrical cables.
Yep.
Yes, all knitted together by a grandma robot.
And we're going to give it to Elliot here because Elliot's shaking because he's cold, so we can't fix the tracker while he's shaking.
Yep.
So we give him the poncho to stop him from shaking, and then he can fix the tracker for us. Now we can go and deliver the tracker back to Seamus, who can go and locate Doc, his father. And if you haven't spotted the passing resemblance right now, hopefully the words Doc and the get out here for Seamus, like the get up, should hopefully give you a bit of a clue as to what maybe inspired the developers for these two characters.
Yeah, I've got to be honest, I didn't realize it until we actually got to Doc, so...
So yeah, that little quest, basically, in order to actually progress the game, we get the Super Spirit detergent from here in order to trade that for the electrical cable. We give the electrical cable to Grandma. Grandma knits it into a poncho. We give the poncho to Elliot to stop him shaking, and then Elliot can fix the tracker. We give the tracker back to Seamus, and Seamus can now go find where Doc currently is.
Easy, right?
Also, we need to make sure we validate the run by putting the paper bag on our head.
Yep. So the paper bag inverts your controls while it's on your head.
Oh my god.
It also adds random directions to it as well. I'm just holding down here. It's sending me in all sorts of directions.
Great. It is a requirement of the run. Oh, it was kicked it. What?
Okay.
There's also some robots that are just like walking around that you can like literally just stand in front of and trip them up. Not that I'd ever do that, obviously, but
Of course not.
One could.
We'd never do such things.
No. Repeatedly.
So someone has asked, by the way, that there seemed to be so many routes when they played Stray for the first time. What was the routing like for the speedrun, and was it pretty easy to find the optimized route?
I'll be honest. So I jumped on the speedrun about maybe a week or two after the game came out. And thankfully the community had put in a lot of effort to already write the run. They've done a really, really good job of it. Some little things have changed, specifically like with the paint can there. We used to do that at the very beginning of Slums Part 2, and then we would actually go and get the Super Spirit Bottle first. We changed that round after realizing that you can make the cycle straight from the bar, so it actually saves a bit of time doing that. But for the most part, once it was discovered essentially the order to do things in what was actually needed to just progress the story, the routing's been fairly set since then. It's just been minor optimizations ever since that point.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's a game that's got a particularly difficult like macro route. Like you know you're gonna do the chapters in order, but the actual like micro optimizations in terms of where you jump from, where you jump to, what order of things you do is very much the main thing that's gotten the time down over such a short amount of time.
Yeah. I mean, as I said kind of at the beginning before we started this run, like learning the actual route for the game is pretty much like 90% of it. Just knowing where you're going, knowing what you've got to do is 90% of the run. The other 10% is optimizing the movement. Because every little mistake, every little missed jump, every little hold up like that, it costs time. And it really adds up over like the hour and 20 minutes plus.
Yeah, I mean, for to get a kind of benchmark, most people's first runs come in somewhere between 135 and 140.
Yeah.
And then very quickly get to the sub 130. So it's literally like every minute after that is just like practicing, learning that route, and just getting better at the optimization.
Yeah.
But it's a very, very consistent run.
Yeah. I mean, the 100% categories, there's still some work to be done on the routing on those ones. I know that Midtown, they're still trying to optimize that. You know, the 100. So for anyone wondering, the 100% requires you to get all memories and all badges in the game. And yeah, there's still some routing because, for example, the open world area, so Slums Part 2, and Midtown, there are obviously many different ways you could go, and it's trying to find like the shortest and quickest route in terms of doing things on the way. So here's Doc. Again, should be familiar to some.
Oh God, I see it now.
You see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it took me until this moment as well. It's a very, very obvious Back to the Future reference.
So what Doc has in his hand out is the Defluxer, and the Defluxer emits a very strong UV light that is able to kill the Zerks. But he's not able to power it up because it requires, I think it was something like 1.2 gigawatts of power, which can only be gained from the generator. But obviously Doc can't go outside because the Zerks will eat him. So he gives us a spare fuse to go and put into the generator, which will hopefully power up the Defluxer. So we pop the old fuse in, the generator whirs into life, and the Defluxer comes to life. However, the noise from the generator spells trouble for us, as here come an army of Zerks to take us out. But they go pop.
Yep.
I mean, I saw earlier as you were going up to Doc, I saw like some Zerks in a cage, and I'm like, excuse me, why would you keep those as pets? Get out of here. There.
The Deflux is just a ultraviolet light, because obviously being trapped in a city with a dome over it, they don't get like the UV rays from the sun or anything, so that's kind of why these things have grown out of control. And now we're going to get an upgrade as he pokes B12 with a soldering iron and installs the Defluxer into B12.
Despite needing a full-blown generator for it to work, amazingly it now works in our drone companion.
Yep.
Checks out.
You remember how big it was? That's always just so mean.
So with the Defluxer in B12 here, we get 3 seconds of available use, and if we overheat, it takes 5 seconds for it to actually cool back down. So a lot of what we do with the Defluxer is trying to keep within 3 seconds of use and not overheat, because obviously that will lose us time if we still need to use it.
Yeah,
So
now
go
ahead.
So now we have the defluxer built into B12. We're now going to try and escape and bring Doc back to the slums.
Yep, and to do that, we're going to actually have a weapon to use against these Zerks now. We've got a little bit of a barrel puzzle here to open this door. Just right in my barrel.
As you do.
What is...
In through the vent. We're going to
nice
jump
placement.
onto this lever. It's going to open the side door, and then we can go over and open the main door. But there's going to be Zerks inside here, so we need to clear these out.
Yep, and this is honestly, I think, one of the hardest parts of the run, especially for beginners, is to be able to optimize killing these without overheating the defluxer. Very nicely done.
Some of them are so chonky.
So yeah, they actually inflate as you use a defluxer on them.
Oh, okay. Like they jiggle and oh my god.
So that's all the danger of this part over, thankfully.
I was about to say, like, oh lord, they coming. Just because of how chonky they were getting as they were getting defluxed.
They do get chunky. It's not the last time we're going to see them, though. Spoilers. So we're just waiting for Doc to make his way through, so we're just going to have a little fun with the physics of this, because this is using Unreal Engine 4. We get some real fun physics with some of these trays. Always fun to play with.
Yep. that box is now a projectile.
Yep.
As you do.
There's a lot of
Congratulations, you've been promoted to projectile.
There's a lot of waiting for Doc to open doors here.
Yeah, just going to do the zoomies.
Yep. But that gets us back to the slums. And after these cutscenes, where everyone's really happy to see Doc again, we're going to get access to the sewers, and we can carry on our adventure.
Oh.
And for all our hard work, we're going to get more head pats. Yay, head pats. Right, we're going to run away from the Guardian. He has stuff to say to us, but we just want to kind of get ahead here. There we go. We're going to head down here towards the sewers, where Momo is waiting for us. There he is, waving away. Jump on here. And so begins approximately 3 and a bit minutes of mostly waiting.
Yeah, there's a lot of auto scroller in the sewers.
So this is probably a good time to talk about what some of the key differences between glitchless and, as we call it, unrestricted. So in the unrestricted run, there's a couple of fairly major glitches that have been found. And probably the biggest one of them all, which is only available on PC, is called sleep paralysis. And when we get into the slums part 1, we immediately go into Elliot's bedroom, the one that fixed the tracker for us. And there is a very particular sub-pixel setup, yay sub-pixels, that allow you to go out of bounds and give the cat very special properties. In doing so, you can actually get through that door to the sewers, you can get the area loaded in and drop the cat into the start of the sewers, effectively skipping the slums part 1, dead end, slums part 2, slums part 1, I've already forgotten. Rooftops, slums part 2, and dead end. It skips about 20 minutes of the game. It's a real significant time save, and it's the reason why Unrestricted is now sub 50 minutes, aside from various other glitches as well. So here we are in the sewers. This is where the Unrestricted game would also pick back up. We are locked in this gate, so we need to go and open this one up for Momo. And you'll see here these lovely little things, which actually spawn the Zergs. So I'm not going to go too near them, because otherwise we'll get more of them come out. But that's where they come from. That's where they're grown. Again, definitely 100% not head crabs.
Oh, absolutely. Also, I forgot that you were being rowed, and this wasn't just floating down like the sewers or anything. I too enjoy a nice, relaxing gondola trip through the sewers.
Oh yeah, I mean it's. I mean, look at this. Wouldn't you want to come here on a holiday? I mean, look at the architecture more than anything.
Yeah, beautiful.
It's got that air of mystery.
To the gross water.
Love that you can just see them jumping around up in the rafters, just like, yeah, just doing their thing. Don't use it to flex it. I don't think you even can.
No, you can't reach them up there.
So while we're rowing, Huds, why don't you talk a little bit about what you do on your stream?
Yeah, absolutely. So traditionally, I'm a Sonic speedrunner. I do the classic kind of 2D Sonic games, but I tend to edge more towards the fan games. So while I run Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, and Knuckles, I tend to run Sonic 1 Forever, Sonic 2 Absolute, and Sonic 3 Air. But yeah, for the most part, I do Sonic speedrunning. My current challenge for myself is to learn the Sonic 8. Which is Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, Sonic and Knuckles, Sonic CD, Sonic Spinball, Sonic 3D Blast, and Sonic Mania, and then run them all as a single consistent run, or single continuous run, sorry. But yeah, I love cats. I have 2 cats of my own now, Ted and Alfie. Ted, by the way, has his own Twitch channel. If you want to drop him a follow, he's available at Ted601, where we stream Loafcam. And he is a Twitch affiliate as well. Believe it or not.
He got affiliate faster than you.
He did. He got affiliate in 5 days. But yeah, we stream Loafcam on there as well. And occasionally, both Ted and Alfie make an appearance on my channel too when I'm speedrunning. But yeah, because I love cats, Stray came out. I saw the trailer for the game. It looked incredible. It didn't look quite as horror centric as this part does. But I've absolutely loved kind of playing this and getting to know this particular run. It's a really good run. And I'll be honest, it's a really good run for beginners as well, because as I kind of said at the beginning, most of the run is just knowing the route and knowing where you're going. Once you've picked that up, it's a fairly straightforward game to speedrun. To actually optimize it is much harder. That little jump there, by the way, shout outs to Baber, who was the former world record holder, who added that little jump in to save a tiny little bit of time. And now we go through the Zerg Gauntlet.
Yeah,
goodness
this is where it's pretty much vital to have the meow button on the mouse scroll wheel, because not being stopped from these things is just critical.
Okay. So all of this you can just run through.
We can just see just how overgrown. There's also, for some reason, eyeballs all over the place in the sewers. I'm not okay with that.
And what's interesting is it's almost never explained.
Yeah.
It never gets explained why there are eyeballs everywhere.
It's just eyeballs.
Yeah, Why not?
Why wouldn't there be eyeballs? Oh my God.
But yeah, this game's available on PS4, PS5, and PC. And I'll be honest, it's the reason I ended up upgrading my graphics card. So please no one tell my wife.
Oh, that's why you bought it.
Yeah, I literally bought it for this game. So I was very kindly gifted this game. I woke up, I think it was on the day of its release actually. I woke up at about 6 in the morning and saw that it had been released on the gameplay trailers, and I put out a random tweet just saying, maybe I should learn this game because it looks like a fun cat game. And shout outs to Jimmy Diamonds, who then gifted it to me after seeing that tweet. I was like, well, I guess I'm going to have to learn to speedrun this game. So I played it through casually. It was great fun. Started speedrunning it, and I realized I was losing quite a good amount of time because my graphics card just simply could not keep up with running this and, streaming it. So I set upon getting myself a new graphics card. My wife knows I have the graphics card. She does not know how much it cost.
She will not find to keep it that way.
She will not be told how much it cost either.
So how do I get in touch with Mrs. HUD 601?
Thankfully, she has little online presence. Lucky for me.
I can't wait for the next Q&A where she happens to make an appearance.
Oh no! Oh no!
So in that cutscene, the Zerg attacked as we got too close to their giant eyeball for some reason, and B12 trying to protect us overloaded and has powered down. So we are now carrying B12 in our little cat mouth. But unfortunately, the defluxor is destroyed.
Chat is asking what kind of card. I upgraded to an RTX 3080 overclocked edition. I actually had to get it imported from America because my entire PC setup is white, so I wanted a white graphics card to match, and it was only available in America. So we're going to wait B12 here. Come on, up you get.
The just very ginger tap by the very ginger cat.
Okay, just then meow at it like, well, come on then.
Get a move on.
Yeah.
Like, wakey,
You had
time
your
to be a
rest.
baby.
So we have managed to make it through the sewers safely. And on we continue.
Into Ant Village.
Yeah. So this is the ant village. It's a giant tree. And we have this little cutscene here. Mindez, do you want to explain what we get told in this cutscene?
Yeah, so this is where B12 kind of gets... this whole chapter really is a massive kind of lore dump as you're climbing up this tree. But yeah, B12 kind of comes to the realization that... he kind of was a scientist and he uploaded himself into the computer to try and prolong the human race, basically. But things went wrong and only his consciousness remains, which we've now put into the body of this little toy robot.
This is Baltazar, who has been meditating. And he tells us that Clementine is in Midtown and gives us her address on the back of the postcard and tells us to go to Midtown and to find her. So we continue climbing up through the sacred tree.
Yep, a lot of jumps, especially here, that take a lot of optimization. Yeah, Ant Village, as I say, very lore heavy, and that's why we can just kind of get through it very quickly as far as speedruns go. And that brings us, I think, pretty much straight onto Midtown.
Yep. So this is our final kind of open world exploration level. There's a lot to explore in Midtown. We are going to do nearly none of it.
Yeah, this chapter is kind of huge. The chapters definitely get way longer towards the end of the game. So I believe there's only 3 chapters left, and we're like not even at the kind of hour mark yet. Just keep meowing. Just keep meowing.
I like to think
Meowing
that
is how you skip through dialogue, right?
Yeah.
it just so happens to be a happy coincidence that's bound to the same button. So it does sound a bit like the cat is trying to tell B12 to be quiet.
Yeah, get on with it. God.
Looking over him. So this is Midtown, a lovely, vibrant city in the upper part of, a vibrant area in the upper part of the city in Walled City 99, as it is known. We're going to go along here. We're going to go up and see Clementine in her flat. We're going to do a few other little bits on the way just to set up some required story elements for later. So I'm going to jump up here and I'm going to knock down this security camera by standing on it. As you do. I'm going to come along here. I'm going to jump on this one. That's the second one. The third one we'll get later on the way back.
Yep, and we're going up to Clementine's apartment at the moment because we were already given the address, and it is right here.
And we're going to run in, and we're going to see Clementine, who thinks we're here to attack her. So Clementine is basically public enemy number 1 in Midtown and is being searched for by just about everyone.
The good thing they don't have her address.
Absolutely not. Yeah, no one knows where she is. So I'm going to pull this drawer out as well. This is setting up for the second time we come back to the apartment later on. We're going to go here, and Clementine's basically going to tell us that we need to go get a power source. There's a power source inside Necrocorp's factory, and that in order to get in, we should go and speak to her friend called Blazer. So I'm going to jump in.
Clementine's leading a bit of a kind of resistance, which kind of seems to consist of just her and Blazer. Yeah, so we're going to need a disguise for Blazer, and that's going to take the form of a construction worker's outfit and helmet.
Just going to wake him up.
Knock that down there, yeah. Just knock it off the shelf.
So we're setting up a lot of things here. So we originally knocked off those 3 CCTV cameras. That allows these companions to play their music. In return, they give us a cassette tape. We've just gone and woken up that worker there. We're going to need him in a second. I'm going to go through this alley. We're going to go speak to Blazer now, and that will, at that point, Blazer tells us, yeah, you know, I can get you in, but I need that construction worker helmet and that, like, tabard.
Yep. I'm going to just say, caution headphone users, there is some very loud music coming, and I mean very loud.
Yep.
Oh...
I'm sure tech will be on hand to like turn it down, but it is kind of sudden.
So we're going to come in here and put the cassette in. This is where you're going to get the loud music for a couple of seconds. And in doing so, it distracts the shop worker. We can steal the jacket. There we go. Loud music over. We can then come over here where the worker that we woke up is now talking to his boss, and his boss is very angry at him because he's late. And by setting all that up, it essentially means we can do all the other bits we need to and get back just in time for him to lift the box up and get us past the shop owner here, so we can sneak in and we can grab that construction worker helmet off the side. Super important to make sure you grab that before leaving. And then we're going to run over to Blazer and we're going to give him both the jacket and the helmet.
I appreciate the fact that the loud music was still playing out of the other building as you ran past. You just run past and you...
Yeah, I always feel the need to warn every time it comes up in a speedrun because it is like literally 3 times louder than anything else in this game.
Yep, intentionally loud.
Yeah.
Okay, so Blazer's going to walk over to the Necro Factory worker here who's going to have a look at us and inspect the box and decides, yeah, you know.
Just a box?
Yeah, I guess this is for us. I guess you do work here. Yeah, go on, in you go.
No solid snake in there.
Yeah, this is our Metal Gear section. Shout out to all Metal Gear speedrunners.
This section just has to be like very Metal Gear like inspired. Like anytime you want to get away from the robots, just jump into a box.
Okay, so here we're going to see our first instance of the Sentinels. I'm going to get shot.
Oh, you are?
Oh,
okay.
That was close. Yeah, that caught me a lot earlier than usual. Oh, I really hope that bar stayed. It did not.
Nope.
So one of the little bugs that's allowed in Glitchless is that particular bar that I jumped on, if you're running an uncapped frame rate, it will actually stay in position rather than rotating back. But it does require pretty much a frame perfect jump off of the other end, which unfortunately I didn't get. But if you get it, it saves a few seconds. You can use that bar to then very quickly jump back to the other side after hitting that lever.
Yeah. This is a stealth section, and this is being played the exact way that I play stealth sections in games, which is to just run through everything.
Very stealthy.
Yeah, that seems right.
As you can see, nothing wrong about a barrel moving on its own there. The Sentinel definitely okay with that.
Yep.
So, little puzzle section here. So we're going to turn on this machine. What are these machines, Mindez? They look almost like photocopiers.
Yeah, I think they're like mobile printers or something. I don't know.
Oh, tell me they didn't stop too far away.
Oh,
you are joking.
Too far away. Yeah, slightly too far away.
It's like
this one's very finicky.
It really is. There we go. So we move that one to there. That allows us to get into here. B12, you can turn that on. That'd be great. Thank you. We can then turn this one on and bring this one the other side.
Yeah, they're like mobile printers that just follow cats. I think it's a very important invention and needs to be created.
As you do.
Yep. So basically, we've got three switches that all need to be pressed in order to release the battery, which is what we are here for, because we need a power source. The game also lags here always like crazy.
Yep, nothing you can do about that.
Yeah. I think my theory is it's loading in the rest of the map, and that just causes it to lag for a couple of seconds. But yeah, frame rate just drops no matter what you do there.
Yeah.
And here we are back in the main area of Midtown proper, where things have changed slightly.
So I'm going to divert, rather than taking the shortest path, I'm going to take one that's ever so slightly longer. The reason for that is it should set up these sentinels that have now arrived in the block of flats. It should set them up so that I miss the first one. It should be timed, hopefully, correctly. This one should move out of my way just in time. There we go. The second one will...
We can see this building crawling with sentinels now, and that's because they've found where Clementine is, and they are searching the building.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can pretty much run through most of these sentinels and just they will reset mostly before they'll catch us.
Yeah. Okay, so I've been caught by this one, so that's going to set me up in a second for doing something slightly different. Okay, so we come back and we find a note, and Clementine tells us that she has left us clues all around her flat as to her location. So we need to find 4 objects. And all together, they build up a message that reveals where she is. It's the last one. There it is. Right. I'm going to reload last checkpoint here. The reason for that is that sentinel outside caught me, which means it's going to be sat outside the flat waiting for me. If I try and jump out, there's a high probability I'm going to get shot and I'm going to die. Instead, if I reset from last checkpoint at this point, it resets his positioning. He's back up the other end. I can jump out nice and safely. And because this is timed RTA, so real time without loads, I don't really lose any time on my splits by doing that. And it's just safe all around. So the 4 messages together tell us that Clementine is waiting for us in the nightclub. So we're going to head along here and go into the nightclub.
Yeah, this is all still the Midtown chapter, by the way. The Midtown chapter carries on through the nightclub. It's all the one part of the game, and this has been more than 10 minutes on this one chapter now.
Yep. So we're going to speak to Fripp. We're going to give him the drink. In return, he gives us the lever. The lever we can put here and jump on it. That closes these dancer pods, or this particular one. And the DJ is going to realize that, come over and push the lever back up, and that sends us up to the top. We're then on this lighting deck where we can press some buttons. These will move the lights into the correct position that we need. We can traverse along here. Small cutscene, just showing us Blazer here at the top. I wonder what's going on. Oh, little slip. Oh.
Someone has pointed out the absolute absurdity that is the fact that they asked a cat for a drink.
I mean, they are robots at the end of the day. I mean, I suppose they have no real perspective over hygiene, cleanliness. I suppose the real question is why do robots need to drink?
I'm assuming it's machine oil of some kind.
How do they think that, gagging a robot face is going to keep it from speaking? Real question there.
Oops. Okay. So Blazer has double-crossed us, and we have been sent to jail. Now, I've done a reload from last checkpoint there, The reason for it is in doing so, it means that the cage that I'm now stuck in, I can actually start moving this early. So as soon as it updates my save point, I can start moving this cage, and then we can jump out.
Otherwise, you have to wait all the way for the screen to fade in before you can even move the cage at all, and yeah, saves a lot of time.
Yeah.
So we can see that this jail. I really like the design of this jail because it's very obvious from just the environment that it was not designed to fit like a small creature. So it kind of feels like it doesn't feel like it's badly designed. It's just that you're kind of escaping through the cracks in the security. We're going to run into that sentinel. Shouldn't be able to shoot us. We can get onto there fast enough. Good.
And here we find
Clementine. Yeah.
Like, sorry, cat, I can't really understand you. Or sorry, sorry, robot, I can't understand you without B12, but just, I can get body language maybe.
Exactly. So yeah, really good point from the chat is that Blazer gives his proper like supervillain speech to a cat.
Yeah.
And has B12 translate it all.
I mean, you got to rehearse it, right?
Like, I enjoy just the giant like info drop of, you know, it's like the last game I had on for Never Before Seen Before Frame Fatales happened was Legends Arceus. Mm-hmm. And in the post game of that, there is a supervillain speech. And I'm just imagining if you were playing as a Pokemon and not as a trainer in that, and the supervillain was giving this speech to a Pokemon. It's the exact same kind of concept. Or like, you are a trainer, like, yes, but you're like a 10-year-old. It's like this grown adult is giving this speech to a 10-year-old.
It's exactly like that.
Yeah.
It's so silly when you think about it, but hey, that's what games are for, right?
Absolutely.
So there's an interesting glitch that can happen here where Clem gets stuck at the top of the stairs in a second. I believe we should be okay because of her route down those first set of stairs. No one quite knows why it happens yet. We've been looking and haven't quite figured it out. We know how to tell if we're going to get a particular glitch, but not why it happens. So, as Clem's trying to open up the door to continue our route through the jail, the cat notices B12 is locked away. I mean, how dangerous can B12 be if they've got him locked away like this? Yeah, surrounded by lasers and all sorts.
Yeah, it'd be really unfortunate if there's just a switch off to the side that lets you shut that down.
Mm-hmm. Very handy.
But the way the jail is designed is kind of like an escort mission. Really, we're kind of like relying. We're helping Clem and then relying on Clem to open some doors as well.
Okay, so this is where the ante really gets turned up here. Depending on my laser cycles, this could either go very, very well or very badly. There is usually very little in between on this section. So I'm going to stay quiet and concentrate while Mindez explains what's going on.
Cool. So yeah, there's a stealth section here, and stealth. Yep. Very, it's going to be very stealthy. Just enjoy the stealth. So we want to avoid the lasers. We can do that by just jumping up onto these pipes. And we want to avoid this one particularly because that's the most deadly one. Bad cycle there. Bad cycle there as the laser was moving away. If the laser was moving towards, could probably have made that, but unfortunately not. We're also now going to turn off the cage on B12. While this cutscene is playing, you can still move the cat. So you can see Huds is coming around here, getting the cat into position already, so he doesn't have to stealth all the way to this cage. And then grabs B12 once the cutscene's finished and runs back to Clem.
Nice.
Yeah, that cutscene movement is really, really cool to see.
Yeah. It's a real tricky movement. It's very easy to actually get stuck in that room and not get the cat out. And if you end up just halfway through the next room, the sentinels will be straight on you and it's pretty much near impossible to avoid a death at that point. And then you start this whole section again.
Absolutely. So we get the harness back. We get B12 back. And now it's kind of a three-way escort mission where B12 can open some doors as well. So here we're going to use these bricks. We want to knock the brick down just as Clem's walking past. That's going to cause Clem to stop and pick up one of these bricks, which is going to speed this up very slightly because Clem's going to use that brick to break open a window.
Good arm.
And apparently the Sentinels don't have microphones. They can't hear anything.
No, not at all. So there's a precise thing we can do here. If we jump fast enough, not quite, we can get on the head and jump straight up to the window as Clem's going down. Oh, that was weird.
Yeah, if you don't
it
look
was
down,
weird.
Clem doesn't come back up.
Ah.
It skips the thing. I actually got the prompt for it. I just missed the input for the initial jump.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the next bit that gets real tricky. Because I need to lock these Sentinels away in jail. So I need to trigger them, get them to come follow me.
Yep, so we gotta lure the Sentinels into these.
I got
side-
stuck on the block.
Oh,
That's right. I'd rather do it on that one than the second one. I got stuck on the block.
Yeah, absolutely. So we need to lure these Sentinels into the side rooms, lock the door behind them, and the door is barred so that the cat can still run through the door even when it's closed.
Please don't follow me out.
Oh,
that was close.
okay, good.
okay.
The next part of like Clem's movement only triggers once you leave the room, so you don't want to kind of like lure it in, close the door. You want to kind of get out of that room as fast as possible. But it is following you the whole way, so if you do kind of lure it back out again, it's not going to get trapped. In the second section, there are 2 Sentinels to deal with.
One of them is facing the complete wrong way.
One's facing the complete wrong way. You can meow to get their attention, which is all right.
Oh, that's a little bit early. This is going to be
that
tight.
is a bit early. Get round the corner quick and use these pillars for cover. Close the door, and there we go. Both trapped. Nice.
Okay.
Those are honestly very difficult parts and take a lot of practice to be able to do those smoothly. And even then, there's a lot of RNG with where they initially spawn and which direction they're facing. So it's one of the harder parts of the run, I think.
So we're going to sneak through here. We're going to jump on this lever. This lets Clem through into this final area. And now we need to find a way to escape back to Midtown.
Yep, fortunately for us, there is a vehicle right over here. And the keys are right in the door. So let's just jingle the keys, get Clem's attention.
Get in the back. Can't even ride shotgun.
Yeah, we're going to hop on the back. We still need to open the gate for the shutter door so that this van can get out, but fortunately that is just back here. And this is going to attract all the Sentinels, and we're going to have a bit of a getaway sequence. Now, from this point, there is a technique called fast van. If you can take all these corners like really precisely, but then most importantly, get onto this dumpster on the right, straight over the fence, and cut this corner very fine. You can jump on this van earlier than you're supposed to be able to. There we go.
Nice.
The cutscene triggers as soon as you get on the van. Otherwise, you have to chase this van for about 5 to 6 seconds.
Yep. Also, if you do miss the fast van, very easy to get shot again.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you're just running in a straight line from those Sentinels, which is definitely their strong point. Even though they have Stormtrooper aim.
They really do. So the Sentinels only shoot 4 times before they effectively power down again. But it doesn't make it any easier.
Yep.
Going to skip through the dialogue where Clementine tells us to go and continue on our way. So if you're wondering why we had to go and get that power source from the Neko factory, the reason for it is to repower the subway, and the subway is what will take us to the control room. And the control room will allow us to reopen the city, which is what B12 believes his ultimate mission to be. It's going to head back down all the way to the very beginning where we started Midtown, where we came through the pipes by the Ant Village. And just here, we're going to pop in the battery, the power source. This is going to power up the subway. Again, such brilliant music.
It really is. And this is going to begin the final chapter of the game as we ride the subway.
So just before we left Clem, she handed us the keys to the subway as well. So we're going to pop them in here. And we're going to take a little ride.
Cat driving a train, nothing to see here.
All completely normal.
It is amazing all of this tech is still in working order after all this time.
Clearly well made.
Yeah.
So taking this journey off to the control room now, as Mindez said, our final chapter of the game.
Yep, and we're going to see just what a stark difference this place is from the rest of the city. As we pull up here, lights on everywhere. Looks more like a modern subway station. You can see adverts on screens and everything. Like, this place is really well looked after.
We actually learned...
a bunch of maintenance droids looking after the place as well.
Just repainting the same bit of wall over and over. We learned from one of the memories actually earlier in the game that the robots inherited the class system from the humans. And so the idea of there being different classes is kind of, you work further down in the city, kind of got inherited and brought on, which is why the slums are so full of rubbish. Midtown's much nicer than up here. Everything is, again, even nicer than that.
Yep. We're going to activate this panel here to go through the door. That's how cats activate panels.
Yep, just rip the wires out.
Just rip wires out. Just claw at everything. Just keep meowing at the B12 as B12's trying to explain things.
As you do.
Let's go now. Can we go now? Can we go now? Meow, meow, meow. Stop, meow.
And that's
talking
B12's final memory as we activate the control room. There's a couple of things we need to do here. So first up, we activate this one control terminal at the back. That's going to turn these computers on. It's going to turn most of them on. We then need to turn on any that didn't turn on by stepping on the keyboards. So we can see the screens turning blue.
Come here. There we go, got it. Nice.
And B12 is looking for a way to open up the city and, like, open up the outside world. But the system is locked and requires 3 terminals to be hacked. So we're going to do some cat hacking. This is how cats hack systems, by the way. Just, you know, casually making biscuits on them.
As you do. So during this cutscene, I'm going to try and maneuver the cat straight over to the next one. I think I'm where I need to be. I might put that. Yay, nice.
Nice.
Move that panel there. So yeah, we maneuvered the cat all the way down to the next panel right in front of it. Push that one down.
I appreciate, like, just watching the cat just fiddle with, like, scratching it, and he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna blow up now.
Like, he's just doing his mechanics.
If you've ever seen the gif of the Clefairy at the control room, like, of a spaceship, and it goes, I have no idea what I'm doing while they're pressing random buttons, that is this cat right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
So we hacked the third control panel, but unfortunately B12 has suffered immense damage and can no longer move. So we're gonna not jump on the chair, please, thank you. We're gonna jump up here, we're gonna drop B12 into this area where B12 is going to do, very sadly, his last thing, where he's going to upload his consciousness back into the network and shut down the roof control system and open the roof up.
Yep, unfortunately it takes all of the robot's power to do so.
Bad times.
And B12 completes his ultimate mission of opening up the city.
Good night, sweet prince.
It's so sad.
We're gonna snuggle with him.
Lie with him.
Oh,
It's so cute, but so sad.
Really is. But with B12's sacrifice, the roof begins to open up and daylight hits the city of Walled City 99 for the first time in hundreds of years. We know this is set at least in 21 something. It's likely set a few hundred years in the future, and the city itself hasn't seen true daylight in hundreds of years. See Momo here, realizing that we've succeeded. Guardian as well.
Yeah, and you see a lot of greenery. That they actually managed to grow plants that didn't need sunlight.
What's interesting as well is all of the sentinels and like the dangerous robots were designed in such a way as to not work with sunlight. So it also disables all of those. Now we could stay here, we could stay and snuggle with B12, we could even watch the roof opening to the left of us, but we've still got a little bit of the run to go, so unfortunately we don't have time for that. We're going to exit the control room as fast as possible, and we're going to make our final escape as the world's safest city reopens its doors.
Yep, we can see over there.
Well, the fact it says on the sign the city is actually open. Okay, time's going to be coming up on the fade out when I reach the top of the stairs, so just make sure you're ready on time. I give you a countdown. Time should be in 3, 2, 1, now. That's time.
GG.
We finally made it back to the outside.
The little cat sniffs.
Like, oh, it's not garbage anymore.
But yeah,
Also, I noticed the screen said the city is actually open. You can get freely in and out.
yeah.
GG.
Thank you.
And it's kind of ambiguous what happens from there. I hope that he meets his cat friends again.
I really hope he meets his cat friends.
Yeah.
Be nice if he did. I like to think that he did. Although I also like to hope that we get a second game that continues the story towards our cat friends, because it's such a fun game. Honestly, the developers, Blue 12 Studio, the publishers, Annapurna, they've made a truly wonderful game and a brilliant experience. It's a great game to replay. Obviously, you've seen an hour and 20 of this, and you've seen us go through the main story, but I kid you not, there is literally hours more content in all of the side missions, the different companions that you can talk to. Almost every companion in each of the areas you can speak to and find a little bit more out. There's all the memories we didn't get, all the badges we didn't get. The 100% run has so much more to it as well. I could not recommend this game enough. It's a wonderful game to explore, to discover the story behind it, to discover the detail. And it is a highly detailed game as well. They've really thought about a lot. But yeah, that's the Stray any % glitchless run on PC. We do separate between PC, PS4, and PS5 because of the load times being different, and also some of the glitches not being able to be performed on certain on certain platforms. They are separated on the leaderboard. It's a wonderful game to come and speedrun as well. If you're interested in doing it, we do have a Stray speedrun Discord, which you can go and find on speedrun.com/stray. And yeah, once you get the routing down, honestly, it's a very easy game to learn. It's very beginner friendly. And from that point onwards, obviously, it's just the micro optimizations of the particular jumps that you make, skipping certain jumps, and obviously dialogue skips as well. I'm also really, really glad that the macro worked for the most part. I still need to get used to it. It's slightly different using scroll wheel for me. But yeah, it levels the playing field a little bit as well.
And go ahead and the two of you should plug yourselves before we head to break.
Just quickly before plugs, shout outs to Murtor, who is the real life cat that inspired the actual design of the cat in Stray.
Yes.
And it was actually the cat of the developers.
Yeah, one of the developers' cats. Yeah, almost all of the team had their own cats as well. They did a lot of research behind it. But yeah, me, I'm HUD601. If you want to see more Stray speedruns, I usually do Stray speedruns on a Sunday. The rest of the week, I'm doing Sonic speedruns. But it'd be lovely to see you there, twitch.tv/HUD601. Mindez?
Yeah, I do some mostly variety content. At the moment, I'm mostly doing randomizers, and I do puzzle streams every week as well. I like to do random puzzles on stream. So if that's your kind of thing, then you can find me at twitch.tv/Mindezzy. With 2 Z's and a Y at the end.
Nice.
Heck yeah. And thank you, Huds, for offering to showcase this game. And Mindez, thank you so much for being on commentary. But we have one more run for you tonight, and Huds is going to be sticking around. Mindez gets to go sleep. Bless her. But no, seriously, we want to thank you all for being here. Your subs, your Prime Gaming subs, your gift subs, and your bits that you cheer here on the GDQ Twitch channel help support Games Done Quick, both with Hotfix and with AGDQ 2023 costs. So do please consider subscribing if you enjoy the daily GDQ content. And if you're watching us on YouTube, go to twitch.tv/GamesDoneQuick. If you're interested in looking at our live content, we start weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern and weekends at 1 p.m. Eastern. And we will be back in just a few minutes because we still have one more game, Sonic 3D and 2D, and we get to explore what the Sonic 3D Blast level concepts could have been like if they had been made into a more traditional 2D Sonic game. So I'll see you all in just a few.